What is up? Welcome in to another edition of the pod. This time we're recapping actual games. It was a beautiful day of NFL football. You're proudly wearing the Indy hat, as you should, as they smacked around those Dolphins. We might be seeing Zach Wilson here sooner rather than later, but man, such a great day of football. Maybe before we dive into players of the week, just your overall thoughts. Any particular games or performances stick out to you?
I mean, just general from the NFL. I thought Sunday Night Football was amazing last night between the
I
Bills
fell
and the
asleep.
Ravens.
I missed the
Oh,
comeback. I woke up this
it's a
morning and I'm like,
great game.
how did Josh Allen do it?
How did Baltimore do it? How did Baltimore give that game away? My heavens, up double
Derrick Henry
digits and
fumble. That'll do it.
yeah, no, and you can't do that against a player like Josh Allen of that caliber of a team. So that was a really good game. I thought Friday night with the Chiefs and Chargers in Brazil was a really good matchup as well. Even Thursday night football, like I don't think the Cowboys are going to be anything that anybody chalks up to Super Bowl contention or anything like that. Nothing you're going to write home about. But that game, even against Philadelphia, I thought was a pretty good game. Even though I would say the Eagles probably didn't play up to their standard as Super Bowl champs. But yeah, overall, just happy that the NFL is back, Matt. I felt like this weekend, because of the NFL, we'd already had a week or two, depending on week zero of college football, how you look at it. But now I feel like football, we're in full swing now. That's something that I felt like BYU's opener against Portland State. I was like, man, are we really here? Like football season? But now I feel like we're in football season. Football's here.
Yep, it was great. That game was great. That also to me did feel a little bit like a AFC Championship game.
Mm.
Baltimore and Buffalo.
Yep.
I know it's only 1 week, but Kansas City did not. They're nowhere near what those two teams are. Let's see how
Oh yeah.
health plays out, but that's the cream
That
of the
was
crop.
that was an amazing game.
Yeah,
Amazing game. And I will say, shout out to our picks last week, because at least on that side, like my Kingsley Suamataia pick, not looking good so far. But that Super Bowl pick, I feel good about that AFC title game that me and you both had.
yes, I'm feeling good about that. I'm not feeling good about the Lions after getting smacked around by the
Oh my gosh.
Packers.
Offensive and defensive line, it seems like that is paramount in this league more than ever before. You have to be able to have a quarterback and you have to have a good offensive and defensive line. And, maybe we'll see what happens with them getting Aiden Hutchinson back. But yeah, Detroit, that is, did not look good going on the road to Green Bay.
Let's get into our players of the week. I'll let you go first. I think there's an obvious choice here, but let's see where you go.
I mean, I'm going to steal it from you because I have to, right? You're letting me go first. So it's Puka Nacua. Puka was awesome. Second most receiving yards this season behind Baltimore's Zay Flowers. And I mean, I think you're probably also going to go with somebody who got a little battered up yesterday, beat up in his game as well. But Puka bleeding from the face, right above his eye, just a tough player. And you saw that number one wideout caliber receiver that Puka is in his third season there in Los Angeles. I know as a Rams fan, that must have been awesome for you to see them going up against Houston, a young talented quarterback in CJ Stroud, and to be able to win that game. It just shows that, if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, he's a really effective quarterback still. And I actually really like the pieces, even losing Cooper Kupp, the Rams, to be able to have Puka Nacua still be as effective as he was yesterday.
Yes.
That's a good sign. And being able to have a good running back in Williams there to be able to kind of balance out their offense. Sean McVay is a genius. And so as long as he has some talented pieces around to work with, like a guy like Puka Nacua, you're going to see good things out of Los Angeles this season. But yeah, Puka Nacua was awesome, and I expect more of that this season from him.
One final note on Puka before you give you my guy. What McVay does with him and with Cup in previous years is what I would like to see a little bit more from BYU. I know that this is NFL pod, not a BYU pod, but they intentionally ran at least 7 or 8 plays where the only option was to get Puka the football and let him do something. When they clinched the game, that was not a progression read play for Stafford.
Yeah.
That was this plays for Puka.
Get the playmakers your ball.
I wish
just get it to him.
A-Rod would do that a little bit more with Chase Roberts, is what I'm trying to say, is learn from these guys
Yep.
and say, hey, you know what? Because Puka had double-digit targets. I think he had 10 catches, 11 or 12 targets. Why can't you do that with Chase? I just feel like, man, so these great offenses and these great coordinators, what do they all have in common? They force feed their playmakers. Now, BYU's doing it with LJ, and I like that. But can they do that with Chase a little bit more? I just need to see those targets go up. For me, you touched on it, but Fred Warner is my pick for San Francisco.
Don't you
Yeah.
love when you can say it without saying it? It's just like an obvious thing.
8 tackles, 4 solo, a tackle for loss. I was on Twitter at the beginning of that game, X, whatever the freak you want to call it. I don't even know. I wish they'd just go back to Twitter, honestly. That's what we all still think of it originally. But um, when on Twitter, it sounded like when he originally broke his nose. Is that confirmed that he broke his nose?
I don't know if I've seen anything that said it was broken, but the way that it looked and the amount of blood stoppage that had to take place there, I mean, it was gruesome looking. It looked like he had been through some sort of boxing match
Totally.
or something.
And man, at first it made it sound like this is social media, so I should have taken this with a grain of salt. But initial reaction is like, dude's down, teams are on a knee.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Well, the
like
fact
I'm
that he
like,
left the game, you're like, oh,
is this
Fred
season
Warner does
ending?
not leave the game. Yeah.
And then he comes back and dominates, and then the defense makes that play. It was Bosa who made the play, but I think that was a really important game for San Francisco to show that one, offensively, that they could come through in the clutch, and then two, defensively, that they could make a stop. So, Fred Warner being at the kind of the spear, the head of the spear for the 49er defense and them getting a win on the road, I thought that was big.
Yeah, no, totally. Especially when you have Jake Moody missing kicks and getting one blocked because your offensive line, special teams line on field goal is not holding up. I mean, Seattle came to play. And so to be able to pull that one out, you have to rely on guys like Fred Warner. He's one of the best players in the NFL and continues to show it week in and week out. If he's healthy, I mean, heck, last season he wasn't healthy, playing with a broken foot, and he's still awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, good pull by you for player of the week. I think it was obvious that those two guys were the standout players for BYU this week one.
All right, where are we going next? Those are the obvious choices.
Yeah, no, I think maybe let's go stock up, stock down now.
Yeah.
Just to be able to see what we think as far as guys that are trending in the league. Maybe I'll go first with my stock up. I think that this is somebody that I know this is somebody we've talked about in the first 2 episodes of the podcast, but Christopher Brooks being able to get on the field with Green Bay in that win over Detroit, I thought that was noteworthy. I think that he's showing LaFleur, some of his skill set there to be able to break into that running back room to get onto the field. That's something that, I mean, we've talked about this where he was in like a crowded running back room in Miami before. Now he's able to be in a situation in Green Bay where he's going to hopefully be able to showcase a little bit more of his skill set. But I think that we saw a glimmer of him in week one, and I hope to see more of him because he's one of those running backs. You saw the way they use him. He's able to run the ball out of the backfield, but he's also a receiving back and has good hands. So hopefully they can be able to get him the ball more throughout the rest of the season.
I'll go stock up for me. This is maybe an unconventional pick, but I'm going to go with Tyler Algier. For 2 years now, we've been told Bijan's the everyday back. They're phasing Tyler Algier out. What role does he have? And then he gets 10 carries, only 24 yards, so the production wasn't there, but only 2 less carries than Bijan. So to me, that tells me that Atlanta's new offensive coordinator does value Algier. And if he continues to get those type of carries, either he's going to produce in Atlanta or he could maybe get traded and go to a place where he has a larger role. But I think it's encouraging, even though, again, the production wasn't there, Kyle. I think it's encouraging that he got 10 carries
Yeah.
alongside Bijan Robinson. So it looks like his workload is still going to be enough to where he'll have opportunities to make plays.
I think that with that, I, I think back to our conversation that we had about Tyler Algier when they drafted Bijan Robinson, because he was coming off of a pretty solid rookie season. We're like, why are they drafting a running back? Like, let Tyler run. He's such an explosive running back when he gets into open space, and he's just strong. He's able to just power over dudes. Um, who would you say is your stock down after week one, Matt?
Oh man, it's this is the easiest pick I'll ever make. To me, stock down is clearly Kingsley Suamataia. I think that was a woeful showing against the Chargers. They picked on him, and look, Mahomes
Yeah,
made that amazing play at the end of the game where he escaped Khalil Mack and made that impressive play down the field to Hollywood Brown. But Kingsley, it's like no one was even there. It's just
it was rough.
it was hard to watch, and it's I think the disappointment is exactly what you touched on last week. He's got the talent. He's got the physical tools. Why is it not working? And if it's not going to work in Kansas City, where is it going to work? So I was just really hoping that his move to left guard would take some pressure off and it wouldn't be like a kind of a flashlight moment where it's like, look at this horrible play. Because the only time you ever really single out a lineman is if it was so bad it
Yeah.
can't be ignored, right? If you're just like, hey, you had some ups, you had some downs, you don't really talk about it. But yet that seemed to be a very big talking point amongst notable NFL guys. Bill, is it Barnwell for
Barnwell.
ESPN?
Yep.
He pointed it out. Other people pointed out just how many times he got intentionally picked on by the Chargers and Khalil Mack.
It's even
That's
worse when it's the only game on that night and everybody's watching, and it's just like it magnifies when it's Patrick Mahomes and it's the
Yep.
Chiefs, and
Yep.
just not a great look for them. I'm gonna piggyback off that for my stock down. It's not a player. I'm gonna go coach here. I'm gonna go Andy Reid. I'm gonna go stock down on the Hall of Famer.
Oh man.
I think that Andy Reid needs to retool some things. The Chiefs are not what they have been over the last 3-4 seasons. And if they want to get back to the Super Bowl, you think back to week one a season ago when they end up winning because Baltimore's Isaiah Likely, he's out of bounds on that would have been a touchdown. There was that narrative of, hey, are the Chiefs still the Chiefs? And then they ended up proving they're still the Chiefs, right? They make it back to the Super Bowl. We did not see that same kind of performance against the Chargers on Friday night. I needed to see some reinvention. They are down some wideouts. Rashee Rice is going to be out for 6 weeks. Xavier Worthy, who knows how long he's going to be out. He might be out for the whole season if he has to have surgery on his dislocated shoulder. They have some issues that they need to figure out. So I'm going to go stock down after week one for Andy Reid. He needs to fix some things in Kansas City.
All right, let's wrap up with this. Game of the week for this upcoming week. What do you got?
There's a few games that I'm interested in watching. I think that the one that I'm most interested in probably is the Seahawks versus the Steelers after seeing Aaron Rodgers toss 4 touchdown passes. Is Aaron Rodgers still Aaron Rodgers? Is it just the
No.
Jets, Matt? Because the Jets are terrible. Me and you, we hate the Jets. And every BYU fan should hate the Jets for what they did to Zach Wilson. I'm going to stand on that for the rest of my life. But I do like Aaron Rodgers. I still think that he can sling it. So I'm excited to see that against. I thought Seattle looked a lot better against San Francisco than what I thought they might have. I don't know if that's just week one and maybe San Francisco's not great. I don't know. Like, it's still too early to see what these teams actually are, but that's a matchup I'm intrigued by. What are you excited to watch in week
I mean,
two?
the obvious choice is the Eagles Chiefs, but putting that one aside, I'd probably say the Monday Nighter, Chargers Raiders. I want to see, are the Chargers for real? The Raiders were better. How much better are the Raiders? They beat the Patriots 2013 this week
On the road, too.
on the road. And the Patriots are a team that a lot of people think could make the playoffs, and the Raiders go on the road and get that win. So Chargers Raiders is a really good one to me. That's probably the one I'm the most interested in. And then I'm also a little interested in that Bills Jets game. I do think, despite the Jets hate, and it's well warranted amongst BYU fans, I did think they looked better.
Yeah.
So let's see how competitive they can be against the Bills, who are, the Bills had no business winning that game. Baltimore gave that game away. So that's going to be an interesting one to see how those teams compete next week.
No, well said. I think that's spot on, and I'm going to be following along with all the news and notes out of the NFL between now and Thursday Night Football when we kick off week 2. It's nice to have the NFL back, Matt.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is, and we've got football for the next 6 months. So let's always remember that when our teams don't perform, when guys get hurt, every single week we got college football, we got NFL. It's all back, baby.
Yes, sir. You can follow Matt on Twitter at Baiamonte Matt. You can follow Royal Cougs at Royal Cougs. I'm at Kyle Ireland. Until next week, this has been the Cougs in the Pros podcast.